So did Ryan Lochte lie or didn't he? Brazilian police officials saying that the Olympic swimmers were in a rowdy gas station confrontation, that they were not robbed. There was no robbery. But Lochte telling the Today Show he wouldn't make this story up. Police in Brazil, they're going to be updating us shortly on this, the former prosecutor Alexandra Kincaid. It's a tough story because even when it came out, there were sort of mixed signals. The Olympic Committee said no. Of course, Lochte's mom was the first one to alert the media to this. Where do we stand? And from what you've seen so far, what's your assessment?
It's really hard to say, Charles. I mean, the problem with this story is it keeps morphing. It keeps growing into more and more and more as facts are coming out. And we're relying on facts that are given to us from two parties who are very concerned about protecting their respective reputations. Of course, we have the swimmers, the Olympians, who want to make sure that they don't look bad. And we have the country of Brazil that is making some decisions here that may be politically driven. They do not want their reputation harmed by this. They do not want to be the country that is hosting the Olympics, and we have, crime after crime happening there.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, listen, it's a multi-billion-dollar investment on their part, and the reason these countries take the Olympics, knowing that they're going to lose money often, is because they want to look good to the rest of the world, be on the world stage. So you kind of know where they're coming from, but they've taken some extraordinary measures, stopping our athletes from leaving that country. You talked about the evidence morphing. As it morphs, where is it leaning? Who's sounding more authentic or more honest as it continues to morph?
Well, when I hear a statement from the Olympics that these are just kids, let's just let it go, that says to me as a prosecutor, what are we doing here? We're not just going to let a crime go. It's turning out that there are some inconsistencies, and Brazil is not going to detain United States citizens lightly, because the political ramifications of doing that would not be good. So it sounds as if there is some evidence to certainly suggest that maybe there were some false allegations here. And in Brazil, that could result in a 6-month jail sentence for these folks. So it's very serious.
We know that the court of public opinion probably will always have two thoughts on this. But from a legal point of view, Ryan Lochte is already in the United States. If it turns out that somehow he is convicted of something in Brazil, what would be the ramifications for him? Is there an extradition treaty? How would that work out?
Well, one of the things that Americans need to realize is when we travel abroad, we don't take the protections of our Constitution with us. So, if we're going to another country, we're subject to their rules. There are over 170 countries that have signed on to a treaty. It's called the Vienna Convention. Yeah. And the protections from the Vienna Convention are very, very minimal. Basically, you have the right to be treated humanely. The consulate will make sure that you have a lawyer in the country that speaks English, or you have access to those lawyers. But we don't take our protections with us. Yes,
all right.
Charles.
Well, it's going to continue to unfold, and we'll hopefully have you back to talk about it more. Thank you very much.